So I'm going to start where I left off. I just discussed tiered pricing. So I'm going to discuss apply map, which is the manufacturer's suggested retail price. So essentially, it's the minimum price that they allow you to display. So it's an important number to know because a lot of manufacturers won't want you to display any price below the suggested retail price, or they have special stipulations around that pricing and how you can potentially use like coupons and certain discounts on according to their pricing. So you can during this setting you can either do yes, no, or use the config options, which you can find in the system config. And there's an area where you can set up the manufacturer's suggested retail price for your entire website in the system config area. The display, actual display price, this is something that is also can be changed in the configuration. So this is using the system config settings. You can display the actual price in the cart before order confirmation on gesture. So you can make it so that they don't see the actual price during different parts of the checkout experience. So depending on how you want them, when you want them to see the price, you can use this to make it so they don't see the price until they get to a certain point in the checkout phase. And then here's where you can actually put the price for the manufacturer's suggested retail price. So if you select this, it's going to apply this price that you set here. Otherwise, you might just want to use the system config or the default settings that you have. Tax class is, these are the three standard tax classes set up in Magento. None means there's no taxes applied to this product. Taxable goods is going to apply the tax class, the standard one that's set up in Magento, which I believe is like California. So you're going to want to go and check and make sure that that's set up. You can create your own tax classes and tax rules within the admin panel. It's a separate section in the admin panel. It's actually in the sales tax section. It can be pretty complex to manage all the tax rules in the tax classes. Then you can also have a shipping tax class for some sort of shipping tax that you might apply. As far as managing all the tax rules, it can get really complex. If you know it well and you think it's pretty simple for the products that you have, then you may want to do it yourself in the taxable goods. And apply that to the right products, and then set up the right tax rules in the sales tax section of Magento. However, there are extensions like Avalara is a very popular one. The Avalara tax extension that can help automate all of that really complex tax classes and tax rules for all the different jurisdictions within the United States. So if you're worried about online sales tax, it's definitely worth checking out some of those sales automation tax software that they have extensions from Magento that you can install and offer functionality to take care of all the hassle of managing tax classes. Meta information. This is mainly SEO information. The meta title is the page title that you'll see when you're searching for something on Google. So if I open up, let's do shoes as an example. This is going to be your page title, and then this is going to be your meta description, and then that's the URL right there. So you're going to want to make sure you fill out a meta title and a meta description that describes the product. So this might be your product URL for some shoe that you're trying to sell, and they will see the page title and the meta description. You want to make sure it's enticing enough to get the user to buy your product, and make sure that you keep your page title to the appropriate amount of characters, which is approximately 70 characters. And meta description is about 150, 160 is what Google will cut off after you get to a certain point. You just won't be able to go beyond that. They won't show anything more than that. Meta keywords is another. Let me turn off HipChat notifications so it doesn't distract anyone. So meta keywords is another section that used to be used in SEO. It was basically just keywords associated with the page. However, Google and the major search engines, Bing and Yahoo, don't really use meta keywords as much. I think Yahoo might, or Bing might still use them a little bit, but they're not really as relevant to SEO, so you probably don't really need to spend time filling those out. The image is, of course, the product image that you want for whatever your product is going to be. So here you're going to want to go and find an image, whether it's on your desktop or anywhere else that you might store some images. And so I'm going to go ahead and just put some Trellis, just some random Trellis stuff up there, just so you can see what it's like to upload an image. So once you've selected your image, it'll let you know if it's going to work. This is obviously not a great image right here. It's a little blurry, so you're going to want to make sure that the image, is a good resolution for what you're trying to do. And then you can select whether you want it to be the base image, small image, or thumbnail. Thumbnail is going to be what you see when you're just viewing like the category page. The small image is when you are just looking at the product itself, and you'll see the smaller image, and then the base image is just the standard image for the product. So you can only set one per product for all of these options. So if you have like multiple images, you're probably going to want to use the same base image, small image, and thumbnail for the same image in most cases. And you're just going to make sure all of those are selected for an image, and then you can have a bunch of other images, as many as you want, uploaded to the product. Probably don't need more than like 5 or 6 images per product. The label is also going to be the alt text as well, so this is important for SEO. So Google needs something to recognize what the image is. So for this, it's the logo, but it might be the product name. So whatever your product name or whatever specific to the product, you're probably going to want to fill this out for SEO purposes. Recurring profile, it's typically not used a lot in Magento, but you may want to use it for anything that's going to be like a recurring payment. So I talked briefly about virtual products earlier in one of the videos, and how that could be like a service, like say you're cleaning service, and someone schedules up for like once a month cleaning service, and they buy your virtual product. Then you may want to have a recurring profile set up, and maybe they want to define the start date. Maybe they want it to start on the 15th, so you can describe the schedule and how that works. You can also have maximum payment failures. So if for whatever reason someone's credit card payment isn't going through on maybe it didn't go through twice or 3 times, and then after a certain amount of times, this product will no longer be eligible for that that customer. And then the auto bill on next cycle, it allows you to automatically bill the outstanding balance amount in the next billing cycle. So if they missed a couple payments, it will bill them. Let's say they missed 2 payments, it'll bill, and you're billing them for the 3rd. It'll send them an outstanding balance for all 3 payments that they haven't made yet. The billing period unit, you can see here, you can set to day, week, 2 weeks, month, year. And you may even be able to customize this within the attributes. The billing frequency, so that's how much you're going to bill them within this billing period or billing cycle. So you can completely control how much you're going to be billing someone for your product. So maybe it's a 12-month product, so you might set it to the billing period unit is once a month, and maybe you have 12 or 6, and number of billing cycles for a payment period. So you might have a maximum billing cycle for your recurring profile. So maybe you don't want them to go beyond 18 or whatever that is, 18 months. Trial billing period units, you might have a 1-month trial, and you can set the frequency the maximum trial billing cycles and the trial billing amount. So maybe it's not a free trial. It could be zero. A lot of times they'll do a free trial, but maybe you just want to do like maybe it's normally $100 a month. You might do like $50 a month for the trial period. And then you might have an initial fee or setup fee, some sort of fee that's associated with your services. The custom design section allows you to essentially assign a specific design to a product. Most cases, you're probably going to have the same design for all of your product pages, or the same theme. But for whatever reason, if you want to go above and beyond and have maybe a Christmas theme, or some other type of theme that is going to help your business in any way, a holiday theme and you want to apply it to certain products, you can choose some sort of theme that might be applicable to that product. And then you can make it active. So maybe, like I said, you have a holiday theme that you use from December or November to February, and you just make it active for those dates. And you can also use this section is where you can apply XML tags to basically create more advanced layouts to the product page. So this is definitely more of an advanced feature that a typical person that's just managing products in Magento probably wouldn't use. But it is good to know that you can add custom blocks, static blocks, and other types of layouts and features to specific products. So essentially, you could make this one product have its own special design with some of the custom layout updates, and you could even assign different page layouts for each product, and you can also display product options. So if the product has colors or different options within it, you can display it in different areas here as well. So it's definitely something to take note of. Most cases, you might not be taking advantage of the design section of a product. It's generally less used than some of the other things that you'll see within the standard Magento product features. Gift option. You can use the config settings, which you'll find in the system config, which is down at the bottom of system. And then here you can create a gift message or just leave it as no and use config settings. So if you want this product to be meant for some sort of gift, you can do that here. Inventory. That's definitely an important area that you're going to have to use. You notice how quantity is required. So at the very least, hopefully it's not zero, but you're going to want to fill out the quantity of your products. Otherwise, no one's going to be able to purchase it. So you might have an ERP system or some sort of inventory management system that manages your quantity. You can integrate that to Magento in most cases. It can get kind of expensive to fully integrate the inventory management system into Magento. Some are easier than others, but you can also obviously manually update the quantity for each product. So here you have the ability to manage stock. You could say no for whatever reason, I don't want to manage the stock, but you can also apply the config settings, and you'll notice in the system config there is an inventory section to manipulate some of the inventory settings. So like I spoke about, quantity is just the number of items of, number of quantity of that SKU that you have available. So quantity for item status to become out of stock. For whatever reason, sometimes someone might sell something that's in a bundle of 6 or something like that. This product might come in packages of 6, so anything below 6 is going to be out of stock. So you can set that to be whatever you want that to be. You can also have minimum quantity allowed in shopping cart. So like I said, this is if this item can't be sold without having 6 in a package, you might have to make this 6 or some sort of number associated with the type of product that you're selling. Then you can also have a maximum quantity allowed in the shopping cart. The default here you can see is 10,000. I haven't really seen that come into play too often, where someone's trying to buy too much, but for whatever reason you might not be able to ship that many out, or there might be a reason why you need a maximum amount allowed that you feel comfortable with. So you might have quantity that uses decimals. If you're selling something in ounces or some sort of weight or something like that, someone might want to buy like a half pound of something, and there might be decimals involved. So that couldn't come into play. Generally, you don't see that with e-commerce sites, but it's definitely possible. And then you can also have it so it can be divided into multiple boxes for shipping. So for whatever reason, some product that you have is, can be separated into a few different components and shipped in multiple boxes. You might want to select yes for this as well. Some companies like to take back orders. It's definitely a good option to have, and it could help increase your sales. So I would definitely consider the back orders option within Magento. And the notify for quantity below, that's also important. Maybe you get your site's getting a lot of orders and you're starting to get really successful, and you know that whenever it gets below 5, it's going to take you some time to restock that item. So you really need to make sure that you're notified once it hits a certain a level that you need to be aware of. And then here you can have enable quantity increase increments. So maybe that you don't want the person, like I talked about before, like they can only buy this in increments of 5 or 6 or 10 or whatever it is. This product's like essentially like in a bulk product. Maybe you sell candles, but you only sell 5 at a time. So you can use that feature to sell in quantity increments. And then here, this is also important. You have to select in stock if you want this product to show up by default in Magento. You can set Magento to show out of stock items, but the default Magento settings will not show this item unless you have it in stock. So if you're just playing around with Magento for the first time and you want to see your products on the front end, you're going to want to set this to in stock. So here are the categories. Just set up some basic test categories. They don't really mean anything at this point. You're going to have your root category set up in Magento, and then which may be the default category. And then you also have subcategories that you can create. So these are the ones that you're going to see as visible. So the root category, you're not going to see on the front end of Magento. You're going to see like the main subcategories that you create. So maybe this might be like t-shirts, socks, belts. You might have 5 or 6 main categories, and then a bunch of subcategories below that. And you can even have subcategories or third level categories that are subcategories of this, so that you might use to create like a mega menu. You'll notice most major e-commerce sites have some sort of mega menu where they have 3 or 4 levels of categories. So here you can select the categories that you want this product to go to. Related products, that's always important for e-commerce sites. You want to have related products show up so that whatever product the user is looking at, they can see some products that are associated with that product. So if you sell shoes, you might want to have some other types of shoes that are related to that shoe, or maybe even some sort of accessories that go with that product. So you can select the related products that you want, and then hit save and continue, and you will be able to see those products as related products. As far as the front end of Magento, they will show up, but you need to, that's the thing about Magento, is you really need to have some sort of front end development done or a theme installed to have the related products show up in like a user-friendly manner that's gonna look attractive. Upsells, there's upsells, related products, and cross-sells. There's definitely some discrepancies there as far as how much they could overlap. An upsell is really something that you're trying to sell your customers on. So maybe they bought, let's say you're Microsoft and they bought the Xbox, and you want to upsell them on some controllers or some special components to the Xbox 360 or the Xbox One now. So this is where you would sell, add upsells to the product. You can display these in different parts of the checkout. Maybe you display the upsells when they're getting to the cart phase or the checkout phase. It's up to you how you want to display the upsells within Magento. and how you want your customers to what products you want associated as upsells. And just like related products, you just check them off and hit save and continue, and those products will be associated with your Magento product. Cross sells might be, say you sell I don't know, lights for whatever reason, and you have something that's kind of in a different section of your business. This is where you might show them something that's a different sector to what you do. It's like a cross sell rather than upselling them on the same product. It's getting them to buy something that's completely different within your product sets. So it really depends on the industry, what a cross-sell might be for your products. So you probably want to do some research on what maybe competitors are using as far as related products, upsells, and cross-sells. So to determine what the best use of the three are for your business. And then just like the other ones, you can check them off and hit save and continue to have them associated with your products. Custom options is very useful if you want to, and you can choose however you want to make the custom option work. Standard one is probably like a drop down or a radio box, maybe even a multi-select, but we'll go with drop down, and let's just use something simple for an example, like color. It may be required. You can have a sort your order here, so if you have multiple custom options, this one will be displayed first. If you have like the next one as 1, the lower number will be displayed first. So this might be red, this might be blue, let's just do one more, and green. And let's say red is $1, blue is $2, green is $3. Excuse me. And you can have a specific SKU associated with the different options. So red, blue, green, and then you can also have a sort order for these different options. So if you want red to show up first or blue to show up first, you would have the lowest number show up there first. So set whichever one you want to show up first to the lowest number of the 3. And so this is how you're going to have a product that has multiple options with it. This is one way to do it. The other way to do it is, as I discussed earlier, is the configurable product option. That's definitely a more complex way of doing it, but you have more control over the individual options. So notice how here you don't have a whole lot of control over the data for this different SKU. If you want more control over, let's say, the quantity of this specific item, you're going to want to create them as configurable products so that you can completely control that simple product, this option or this option. So you'll have to create these as simple products and then create the master configurable product to have all of those options, which will give you more control over each option. But if you want to do it quickly, a more simple way to do it is the custom options version, in which you can create different options for your product. So that pretty much covers all the default attributes within Magento. I know it's a lot to take in. You really need to do some research on your own to know how to use these best for your business. Every business is different. Every business has different products. Every industry is different, and they may utilize some of these tools differently than others. So I highly suggest researching this and some of the things that I talked about before you go and implement them. But hopefully at least this gives you a basic understanding of how all the default attributes within Magento work, so you can understand what the default functionality of the Magento products are. And then you can always go beyond that with, there are a lot of extensions to Magento, and you can also create attributes, which I'll discuss in later videos, that also extend this functionality here. You could create a new column here for whatever type of information you want for your product with the attributes and attribute sets. So like I said, hopefully this helps, and feel free to reach out to us at Trellis if you have any more questions about how to manage product information within Magento. Thanks.